MKUltra, the files the CIA tried to erase. There's a reason some government documents don't just get classified. They get destroyed. Because classified files can eventually be released, but destroyed files are meant to be forgotten. Tonight, we're talking about a program the US government officially admitted was real, and then tried to erase from history. A program created to answer one terrifying question. Can the human mind be controlled? This wasn't a conspiracy theory. This wasn't speculation. This was MKUltra. In the early 1950s, America was living in fear. The Cold War wasn't just political, it was psychological. The Korean War had ended, but something strange followed it. American prisoners of war returned home different. Some publicly praised communism. Some confessed to crimes they never committed. Others seemed emotionally hollow, obedient, detached, unrecognizable to their own families. The media introduced a new word to explain it: brainwashing. And that word terrified US intelligence agencies, because if the human mind could be rewritten, then loyalty, identity, and free will were no longer guaranteed. So the CIA launched a program so secret, even many people working inside it didn't know its full scope. MKUltra. On paper, its goal sounded clinical. Research interrogation techniques, memory suppression, and behavioral influence. In reality, it became one of the most unethical experiments ever conducted by a democratic government. Between the 1950s and early 1970s, MKUltra expanded into over 150 sub-projects. The CIA used universities, hospitals, prisons, mental institutions, and private safe houses. And in many cases, the subjects never consented. One of the primary tools was LSD, a drug barely understood at the time. People were dosed without warning. Patients seeking mental health treatment, students, prisoners, ordinary citizens. In some cases, people were slipped LSD in bars and restaurants while CIA operatives observed them through one-way mirrors. They wanted to know how fast reality could collapse, how identity could fracture, how suggestion could replace choice. But drugs were only the beginning. Experiments soon expanded into sensory deprivation. Subjects were placed in dark rooms, no clocks, no sound, no sense of time. Some were kept there for days. Researchers discovered something deeply disturbing. When sensory input is removed long enough, the mind doesn't remain empty. It becomes desperate. People grow suggestible, emotionally fragile, eager for guidance. Exactly the mental state MKUltra was designed to study. Then there was Frank Olson. Frank Olson was a scientist working for the US Army's Biological Research Division. In 1953, he attended a retreat with other researchers. Without his knowledge, he was dosed with LSD. Days later, Olson became paranoid and unstable. He told colleagues he felt like something inside his mind had been damaged permanently. 9 days later, Frank Olson fell from a hotel window in New York City and died. The CIA ruled it a suicide. For over 20 years, his family was never told the truth. When the truth finally emerged, the government called his death an unfortunate accident. But later investigations raised serious questions. Why was Olson under constant surveillance? Why were critical documents missing? Why did witnesses contradict each other? The case was reopened, and then quietly closed again. Frank Olson wasn't the only victim. In 1953, another man named Harold Blauer entered a psychiatric facility seeking help for depression. Without his consent, he was injected with experimental psychoactive drugs as part of a secret military research program linked to MKUltra. The injection killed him. Doctors lied. The hospital falsified records. The government covered it up. The truth didn't come out for over 20 years. When it did, the family received a settlement, but no public accountability followed. By the 1960s, MKUltra was no longer experimental. It was operational. Researchers weren't asking if the mind could be influenced. They were asking how, permanently. Then, in 1973, something critical happened. CIA Director Richard Helms ordered all MKUltra files destroyed. Not archived, not sealed, destroyed. Officially, this was done to protect sensitive intelligence methods. But the timing was suspicious. Congressional investigations were coming. 2 years later, during Senate hearings, the CIA publicly admitted MKUltra existed. But without the files, there was no way to know how many people were tested, how many were harmed, or how far the experiments went. Only about 20,000 documents survived, saved by accident because they were stored in a financial archive. Those surviving files confirmed the worst fears: non-consensual human experimentation, long-term psychological damage, and complete disregard for ethical boundaries. And here's the most unsettling part. The government never said MKUltra failed. They said it was terminated. Failed programs get studied. Terminated programs get replaced. Which raises a disturbing question. If MKUltra was dangerous enough to destroy the evidence, what came after it? Because the next generation of programs didn't rely on drugs. They focused on behavior, prediction, influence without chemicals. And in the next video, we're talking about something even harder to trace: a weapon designed to kill without leaving evidence. A weapon the CIA openly showed to Congress and later denied using. Follow the series and tell me in the comments, what part of MKUltra disturbed you the most? Because this story doesn't end here.